Trey Renz, and this is my friend
Joseph Cody.
And welcome to the next episode. An episode that I have to admit, I don't care to record because life happens, right?
Comes at you hard.
It comes hard, gross. Second of all, we just spent 30 minutes talking about work.
Yeah, we did.
How sucky it was because work sucks. I know. It's a Blink-182 song.
Left me roses by the stairs.
Surprises let me know she cares. That's a good song.
It is.
People Google it if you don't know. It's funny to think about because that album came out in 1999, where I go, oh, everybody knows that. But if you were born after 1999, that's an old song to you. That's outrageous.
I saw a thing today that said that kids that watch 60s movies in the 90s, kids are now watching 90s movies, and it's the same distance of time.
90s movies. I have to say, so I'll put this thing right here. There was a movie called Airborne. Did you ever watch that show? There were a lot of...
What was that?
There were a lot of movies in the 90s about rollerblading and being really good at rollerblading.
Okay, I was unaware of this.
Okay, so there was one called Airborne. He had a great hair. That kid, I wanted to have the hair that kid had. Makes me mad because I didn't have that hair. People look it up. He had very nice eyes, too. I'm not a homosexual, but he had beautiful eyes. I wish I had those eyes to attract the ladies.
Yeah.
But there was another movie, I can't remember what it was called. Maybe if I remember it after this, I'll put it here. But a lot of movies seemingly about rollerblading. Was that a big thing in the 90s? It must have been.
When did rollerblades come out? 80s, late 80s, early 90s?
I don't know because...
They were a big thing when we were kids. They must have come out in the late 80s, early 90s.
Well, think about it. Like you had the two and the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what they call them.
Regular
roller skates. Yeah. But at some point, it became the cool guy thing to have the inline roller skates.
You're almost as cool as skateboarding.
Yeah. Well, oh boy. Skateboard. Did you ever skateboard?
I skated every day when I was like 27, I think.
Can you still do it now?
I wouldn't dare try. Be 40 this year.
Break
a hip.
You're an old man, Joe. I had one incident that sticks in my brain of skateboarding, rather. I was standing in the backyard of this guy that I don't care for. Mm-hmm. I never did care for, but he was there in my neighborhood. So I stood on a skateboard. I said, I could probably do this. Because the male brain, maybe the human brain goes, I'm confident I can do this.
I've seen people do it. It looks easy.
Yeah, if that guy can do it, I can do it. So I stood on this skateboard, and next thing I know, the skateboard left the area, and I was in the air, and I go, oh, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and I go, and I paused, and I fell onto my back, and I go, I'll never do this again, and I never did it again, and
it's dangerous. I broke my pinky in 2 spots when I was a teenager. My little brother cracked his front tooth from wrecking on a skateboard.
Were you doing normal things, or were you trying to do like an outrageous thing?
I had done, I forget the name of the trick now. A pop shove it.
Pop shove it.
It's like a kickflip, but the board
oh boy
spins this way as well as this way.
Of course
I did that, and then I landed, and there was a semi-trailer in this parking lot, and I ducked down, and I was going to go under the trailer.
Oh.
I failed epically. My skateboard somehow, I hit the ground, it came up over my head, cracked my pinky. See how crooked it is?
It's crooked. It's slightly. I mean, I wouldn't say it's overwhelmingly so, but yeah.
But I didn't go to the doctor. So.
Why did I not know that you were a skateboard guy?
I don't think we really hung around that much.
Well, we weren't there then,
yeah.
but like we've talked about past things before.
Yeah. I wasn't very good at it. I'll just tell you that.
Okay.
I could do the one trick, the pop shove it, and guess how I learned how to do that? Was trying to kickflip. I never learned how to kickflip.
The kickflip is
where you come
kick
off
it
the board and it spins like this, long, like that.
So
But it would do that and spin around.
right. So am I think of an ollie where it's just up and down type
Yep.
of thing? Okay. That in and of itself is
I never learned how to do that either. I just used it. I just used a pop shove it to get onto higher ground.
wow. So you skipped a couple steps.
Yeah, because I had some kids that were, I didn't know them, but they came into the parking lot and they were really good. And they're like, "Oh man, you could do a pop shove," and I was like, "I don't know. I had a kick flip."
Weird. Weird. So you're like a child that when the child stands up and he's like wobbly, he's like, I'm gonna go for a run now.
Yes.
He decides to go.
Well,
and
in
just
those
takes off.
days, I would use my computer at tech. You could look up how to do skateboard tricks, but you couldn't watch videos. This is way back.
Oh,
So it would have like a description of what to do with your feet.
wow.
So I think you had to like kick
Joe,
the
that's
back
the
down.
same as reading in a book. Now do what you put your foot in
Yeah.
here and you kick the thing. I couldn't do that. I don't know how you did that. That's outrageous.
You know how stupid you are when you're a kid. I was like, I'm going to become an Tony Stark.
Yeah. Being a kid does definitely give you a lot of confidence in
Yeah.
yourself that you shouldn't
Anything
have.
seems possible.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing.
It is.
It's dumb.
It is.
And it teaches you to be not so dumb, I think, when you fail, especially like for me when the thing left my vicinity and
Yeah.
I fell to the concrete. That taught me to go, I shouldn't be a skateboarder because I need to be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I never thought about that before. One thing that one thing that has been on my mind, I had the idea a few nights ago, and you will probably disagree with me
Okay.
based on our talk about destiny and set timelines and stuff like that. I was thinking about déjà vu.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would like to know what you think about déjà vu, but one of the things that popped in my head as I was leaving my work the other day is that could it be? And I Googled it when I got into my car. I thought surely I'm not the only one that thought this, but I thought, could déjà vu be a blurring of timeline in your life? So if just bear with me.
I am.
So if you have a timeline of your life where you were born here you go, you live your whole life, and here's where you die,
Mm-hmm.
and that's set.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe I don't know. I was just thinking. But could déjà vu be a blurring like of the linear timeline where you go, oh, I feel, and I just see this point in the future, and I have it's not a clear vision, but I see it, and I come back and go, that was weird.
So do you mean like, not that the sense of this has happened before, you're thinking maybe it's not that, it's that it happens again? Something similar happens later?
No, so
And you're
déjà
getting a glimpse?
So déjà vu is a thing that happens that you go, this seems familiar,
Yeah.
right? So I'm thinking, I don't even believe this, but I'm wondering, because I'm always wondering. I got the thinker over here beside.
That's right.
I'm always wondering, and what actually popped in my head was Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
So to the people out in the world, Dr. Manhattan is a being in a comic universe that perceives his life. He has a birth, he has a death at some point. He perceives his life as happening, all these moments are happening simultaneously. So there's no linear path of time.
Yeah.
So I think that probably bled into my thought process, but I thought, let's just say that I am somehow, if there's a possibility that your life is set, not that how can I explain this? Not that your not that your actions are predetermined, like you're
Well-
forced to do a thing, but like somebody, maybe like God or whatever, somebody knows what you will do, and you will do it no matter what. But you're now having a vision of like a blurred vision of something you're going to do in 6 months, and like you can see that timeline happen. I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn
Let
here.
me
But yeah.
ask. I'm going to try to explain what I think you're trying to say to me.
Okay, please.
So I will use a biblical story for my
Okay.
reference. Okay. So Jonah was told to go to Nineveh.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there could have been a straight path, right? He could have just went,
Right.
but he didn't.
Right.
And he took all sorts of weird, but his destiny is that he's going to end up here.
Yeah.
And
He fought against it.
every time he split off, it's like he made a new timeline,
Oh.
but he's always going to end up here. So it's like just the road change. It's like a GPS device, like adjusting the route.
Yeah.
You mean like that? That's what I'm taking away from you. I could be retarded.
Maybe. Because I really don't know. Obviously, I'm trying to explain a far out there thought process.
I will say that the times I do have deja vu, I try to be very present-minded and really absorb it, because
Do you dissect it in the moment? Because I do.
I do, and I try to be really aware of it, because if it is a thing, a real thing, and not just a weird human synapse thing,
Yeah.
then I want to figure it out.
Right. And we both know the Matrix version of this, where it's like it's a change in the Matrix, and that's I don't necessarily buy it. Although it's an interesting idea, like if there's a change in the Matrix, if this is a simulation that we're living in, I don't necessarily buy into it. Though I'm not opposed to it,
Yeah.
because I think that it does not work against the idea of a creator creating a thing. Like if we're living in a simulation, there
Yeah.
has to be a simulator
Yeah.
creating a simulation.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I do wonder what that is, and I don't know.
It's fascinating.
Have you looked into anything about like the conventional description of why this happens,
I
or
have.
what is that?
Scientists think that the human brain, we like familiarity,
Sure.
you know, like, and if you go, let's say that you're in the forest, you're picking berries, you're a hunter-gatherer,
Yeah.
and you start noticing that certain plants grow by the berries that you like. And
Okay.
so you run into that certain plant again, and you go, oh, I might find berries close by. And they think that association part of our brain
Okay.
just gets us. You had something happen, and it was kind of similar to something that already happened to you. So your brain goes, hey, we've been here.
Right.
That's what the scientific
Okay.
explanation of it is.
That's not bad.
No.
The only thing I would push back on that is that makes a lot of sense. But the only thing I would push back on is that the idea of, especially in dreams, dreams are a big thing. Like, it's so in depth. Like it's so specific that it's not like this one little tidbit where you go, "Oh, this seems familiar." It's like this thing, I lived it.
No, it's like a religious experience almost.
Yeah,
like,
it's weird.
it'll stop me in my tracks, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
And sometimes it has a sense of, I remember this, and something bad happens.
Ooh.
And sometimes it's like, it's just that I remember it.
Right.
So what if that's possible timeline changes? Like maybe a loved one got hit by a car in a different timeline, but they missed them in this timeline.
Interesting. So do you think it comes down to, there's a lot of talk about that Mandela effect thing, which I have, whatever. But, timelines, and this comes into the multiverse. This is an in-depth, I
Yeah.
didn't realize you're going to be this in-depth. But, so I've never had, when you talked about I've never felt a consequence, like a negative like any outcome, whether it's positive or negative. It's just a set point in time where I feel a feeling, and I go, "This happened," but it hasn't happened. So
I
don't know.
Mine are
very
probably
interesting.
kind of 50-50.
Really,
And I'll be like,
you
oh,
get an
no.
outcome.
No, I don't. I mean, like, my feelings about it. Like, sometimes they're benign, and sometimes it's like, oh, no, I remember this, and I get a phone call that something terrible has happened.
Really?
And then I don't get that phone call.
Wow.
Or I get the phone call that I think, and I went, oh, this is it. But it's not bad news.
Interesting.
That's what made me think it might be maybe when timelines split off. I don't know. I'm not a scientist anymore.
Well, you gave it up, Joe. You couldn't take it. It's too much pressure. It's an interesting concept. I don't think about it too much. I have thought of, when I do think about deja vu, I overthink about it because it's so interesting.
It's nebulous.
Yeah, you can't get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Just literally nothing. And the human brain, I say often, the human brain, and which is why I like psychoanalysis and trying to discover why people think the way they think, why abnormal people think this way, and I assume why women like to watch shows about serial killers because we're all interested in the inner workings of how the brain works, because it can literally go, I think, 1,000 different ways, like,
Yeah.
depending on what, and it can make you think things that don't exist.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting organ. It's probably the most interesting organ that you could probably never fully
I was
grasp.
just talking to somebody the other day about that gut instinct.
Yeah.
And every time I get a gut instinct and I don't listen to it, something happens and I go, should have listened to that.
Intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, because sometimes your intuition fails you. It drives you into a wrong place, especially if you have a skewed vision of
Yeah.
reality.
That's fair. I could see that.
Like think of a person that has some sort of disorder. Let's just take a person that views an anorexic person. So if you're anorexic, you have a view of your body which is incorrect.
Yeah.
That's a subjective view of your body. Objectively, everybody else goes, no, you're not like this, but that subjective brain goes this thing. So can you really trust your subjective view of the world and go, this is probably correct? Like your intuition. It tells me that your intuition is incorrect, and that you go, I have a disordered brain, and I have to seek guidance from somebody outside of my own brain.
Maybe so, but maybe there's a difference between intuition and the first thought that pops in your brain based off of past experiences. And if you don't listen to that, maybe.
Right.
But then where's that line end between that and
know.
intuition?
That's a very interesting concept. And I think that maybe the people that analyze the brain
Yeah.
probably have thought this for the
I'm
last
sure.
200 years. All right. Enough deep thought. Let's get into some videos. That turned into a pretty good conversation
It did.
that I didn't, I don't want to be here right now, but it seems I don't want the audience to think that I never want to be here, because I said that last time.
Yeah.
But right now I don't want to be here. Joe worked. I didn't have anything to talk about. I had the idea of a deja vu thing that I've been, but this is the show. That's the show. See? All right, let's get into some videos and we'll call it a day. We'll do a few and bing bing bang gum.
I just want to state for the audience, because I know they're very astute observers. My precious wife bought me new shoes. I just haven't got around to lacing them up and stuff.
Well, you're like me, that you run your shoes into hell.
Yeah.
You run them till they fall off.
I want to get my money's worth.
Now, what do you think that is? Like, is it? I don't think of it as money. I don't want to go buy shoes. It's kind of a laziness with me. It's not. I have money.
I
I
get 'em
throw
online.
money around. I'm making it rain, baby.
Mine's that I want to get my money's worth, because
Okay.
I buy mine online, so I don't have to go
Yeah,
to
but
the
it's
store.
Converse. It's like $40.
Not since Nike bought them.
Oh, okay. Nike bought them. Okay. You buy the high tops too.
I do.
I don't like that about you. I'm mad at you about that. I buy the regular bottoms, but because the high tops they impede my ankle movement. Bothers me. Nevertheless, let's get on to the
Not combat
stupid
boots.
videos. All right, turn the volume up.
Oh boy, I've seen a lot. Oh no.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Do we need the music here?
That happens way too often.
Did I not turn the damn music off and I'm still hearing music? Does it not say? There's no X there?
There's an X there, but I think
All
it's
right.
supposed to have a line on it, right? I don't know.
I'll slap you,
This
Joe.
guy
I'll slap you hard.
I just noticed this guy.
He didn't. Joe, he doesn't
just gone.
care. He's like, that's Stan, and Stan and I have
Of
a
course,
beef.
yeah. Of course, Stan did that.
Stan stole my tuna salad sandwich the other day, and I'm going to let him go through this little
As well he
debacle here
should.
that he shouldn't have to forego. All right, next video here. Hey!
Oh,
This
I
is
cannot
cool.
do that.
You couldn't? What do you mean you couldn't?
I think
It's an immersive experience, Joe.
Wouldn't you want it in first-person mode?
Well, if you look,
Oh, he's chasing that guy.
no, he's driving.
I know.
The-
Wouldn't you want it to look like you were looking at the cockpit? Anyway, it is cool. It's cool.
Well, but hold on a second. If you want to simulate, and maybe this is, I don't think it is, but maybe this is like a training video. It's not. It's a game.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. Like it's like, have you seen those? But it's like a. It's not a dip. It's like it's like an indention that you play a video game. You have the things on. Obviously, you're.
Oh, you can
carrying
run on it. Yeah.
You're walking. It's like I can't. How do you describe that?
Disney revolutionized it. Now it's a flat floor,
Oh.
and you don't have to be strapped in.
Oh.
So that's coming
That
at some
is the
point.
future of gaming, and
Yeah.
I'm actually I want to do that. I think it's
I have-
immersive,
I have,
right?
I have mixed feelings about it though, because usually when
Joe.
I play video games, it's just to mellow out and chill.
You still have those.
Yeah.
Like this is an addition.
This reminds me. I watched there's a YouTube channel I watch. It's a British guy. I forget the name of the channel. Maybe I'll send it to you.
Nigel,
But he does like
Dr.
I
Nigel.
don't want to call it a travel show, but he goes all over the world and he talks about interesting.
Is this the comedian
things.
guy?
No.
Oh,
He talks about interesting things and places, and he went. I forget which city. I mean, which country it was. But this is before video games. It's very expensive for tanks to run on fuel, and they're expensive themselves. So to train their tank drivers,
Yeah.
they would put them in the box, kind of like that,
Right.
with the screen and all the tank controls.
Right.
And the geniuses made with a micro camera hung from the ceiling on a track thing that can move around.
Yeah.
You're controlling it from inside the fake tank controls.
Right.
And this miniature camera goes around this giant, like you know those when people build those train tracks and they build all that terrain and all the little trees.
Yeah. Like the miniatures.
It's like that.
Right.
And this camera, you're controlling this camera, and it simulates that you're driving,
Wow.
and it's all like pulleys and.
Wait, you don't
Stuff.
like that, or you do?
No,
like
I thought
that?
it was amazing.
Oh
I
yeah,
was like,
it
how
sounds,
brilliant is that?
That's fantastic.
That was apparently the last one still in existence. They used to have one for each type of tank.
Oh,
So you could train your tank drivers cheaper and faster.
don't they train? Now, obviously, you have to move on to the actual thing, but like early on, don't they train like flight guys in the simulators, like
Yep,
in the
they do.
machine? I kind of like to. I
Yeah.
would like to at least do that. Like, don't put me in a machine that costs $2 million.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I don't think I could do it though.
I don't either.
But at the same time, let me ask you this. It may be the autism, but I think that I have really good sensory
Yeah.
things. Like I notice things visually. I can hear, smell. You don't have the smell.
No.
I have the smell. Imagine you had the smell like you have the hearing and the sight.
Yeah.
But I have all those things. So I walk through life and I go, It's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
And every day of my life, I don't know what the people think about this, but every day that I walk through life, I notice everything.
Yeah.
Which I described as a superpower in the last episode, but I actually do.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing
Me too.
I know.
I'm a really good defensive driver.
Right. So I wonder about that. I think that I might be really good at that, like, hop, hop, whoop.
Yeah.
Because I've never been in a major wreck. Now, as a child, as a 16, 17, 18, I can't remember what it was, I have backed into a person because I didn't look. But it's not, I've never been in an accident, knock on the wood here, wood knock, in traffic because I'm always like,
Yeah.
I'm
same.
noticing.
Same.
Noticing, smelling. I can't smell anything, but
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyways, just an interesting concept. Let's do one more. We'll call it good. We'll call it a good. A good.
I've
For the
already seen
humanity.
this video, and I remember it was outrageous, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh boy, I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
Not at all. This was okay. So July 12th, which was what, a month
Almost
ago?
a month ago, yeah.
I don't remember what it was. We'll watch it. We'll call it. This is the last video. Hey.
I'm the Shadow Man. I sneak. And
Why? Why did I send this?
Shadow Man. I'll eat all your apples. I'm the Shadow Man.
Why did I send this video?
I'm the Shadow Man. Look at my fingers. I'm the Shadow Man. I'm going to plunge the world.
I hate myself.
There
Why?
he is, kids! The Shadow Man! Be careful, or he'll steal your poop and bury you with fingers!
Look at my fingers.
This is so dumb. Why would I send this?
I'm going to plunge the world into darkness.
No, you won't. Oxros will protect us. We shine a light upon you.
So
What is this from?
I don't know.
I'm the Shadow.
All right. Why in the absolute hell would I send that? You've seen this?
I've seen it.
Why? Why? That was so dumb. It's funny.
It is funny.
Maybe that's why I sent it, because it was funny, but that's so stupid.
He'll steal your poop.
Well, Joe, poop is valuable in the nether realm or whatever the
Wherever
hell.
the Shadow Man comes from.
That could bleed into another conversation about shadow. You know, sleep paralysis is a thing.
I experience it way more often than I would like
Really?
to admit. Yes, it's terrifying.
We've never talked about this before.
Oh, it's terrifying.
What do you think that is?
Scientists claim.
No.
I'm going to tell you what.
Okay, yeah.
I know you want to know what I think it is. I
Right.
don't have a clue.
Well, in on
Scientists
this,
think. So, okay, when you go to sleep, people, it's like a lever that your brain pulls. It's not, physically, but it's like
Yeah.
it tells your body, hey, you're going to be seeing some stuff, but you don't need to be moving around. So it shuts off your nervous system, so you're not acting out your dreams
Okay.
because you would.
Yeah.
And scientists think that it happens sometimes when you wake up and that hasn't clicked back in. And so your nervous system's still frozen. But there's always a strong sense of a presence in the room, which is very bizarre. And did I say it's terrifying? It's
I
terrifying.
believe you mentioned
And you try to
something about
scream,
that.
you can't. You're trying to move your arm, you can't.
Do you think that you're awake at this time?
Yes, because
I've never felt this before.
I distinctly remember times where this is when I worked nights, but so I was sleeping during the day.
Yeah.
I could hear the TV on, Jana watching TV in the living room.
Were the lights on?
Not in the bedroom, but in the
Well,
bathroom.
maybe an incorrect question. Was there light in the room? Not that there were lights on. Like during the daytime, if you're sleeping during the
Yeah,
daytime.
I could see.
Okay. But you saw something?
No, it was just a sense of a presence at the foot of the bed.
You sensed it.
And I've had that happen. I can't even tell you how many times. But I'm a really bad sleeper.
Yeah. I wonder, I've never felt this before. I have had bouts of waking up to every sound, and I have looked. I've told you a story, and I tell the people now, and we're going to end soon. But the fact that after going back to the man of plastic, when I broke my toilet seat, I replaced it with a glow in the dark seat.
Yeah.
And it glows and it bothers me. I see it and I notice it every time I kind of open my eyes. So I have seen my daughter walk across from the living room in this small hallway to the bathroom that didn't exist.
Yeah.
But I chalk that up to some sort of realistic life to memory or to dream state, and it blends in. And also the physical, like I also have two posters adjacent to each other that they I have the worst I have the worst way to be looking at.
I don't know if you've noticed this or if it's just a weird anomaly in me, but my eyes see in dark. They see better in the periphery. Like if there's a little small light, it's really noticeable if it's here.
Right.
If you look at it, it seems darker.
Huh.
I don't know what that is, but so I wonder if that's a normal thing. If you glancing up at the toilet and then looking beside it and then looking at it might create the illusion of a. I don't know, but I've experienced that. I'll be in bed and think that my wife's come home. I swear, I hear her throw her keys down on the little table, and she's not home.
Yeah. But there's a lot to unpack there because the brain. I don't know if we were even recording at the time, but we were talking about the brain and how it can tell you things that. But nevertheless, the brain can make you believe any different number of things.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true. I think many people out in the world should know that. Just because your brain tells you something, whether you're seeing things in the night where you're seeing your daughter walk across the hallway to go take a pee-pee, or your brain goes, "Hey, you're a stupid person and you should kill yourself."
Yeah.
That's just a thing that your brain is telling you. It's not actually the reality.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, Joe, thank you for watching this episode of I almost said Talking the Talk, but it's not that. It's Rennie and Doc. Thank you for watching Rennie and Doc this episode. We hope you share the show. We hope you tell a friend about the show. And we'll see you on the next episode of Rennie and Doc.